of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I get a motion to approve the minutes from January 20th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Sorry, and also the Board of Finance meeting.
Yeah, I'll make that motion too.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any changes to the personnel?
I didn't make any.
No, what you have in front of you should have been what you had in your packet.
Any questions? Anybody? I get a motion to approve the personnel recommendations as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Financial reports.
A couple things. Again, I told you last month, just a heads up, but January was a 3 pay period month. So that's why that financials were kind of inflated a little bit. We had a few bigger items here that we paid for. Diesel fuel, trying to get us through the winter time. Our attendance on demand with LAO, how people clock in and out now. We're paying for that. And how I did it last year when we started is I had them split that setup cost into 1 year and 2 year. That way we weren't all paying for it at once. So that's what that LAO Associates is. Ivy Tech, this is Susie Matzvad's dual credit stuff. That's paid for with the ICAP grant. And then the biggest one you'll see here is J&K HVAC services. So this is a project that Nick was hoping that we could get through and do in the summertime. And so, but because of some leaks that kind of got worse, it needed to be done sooner than later. And so thankfully, the other reason for the summertime is that we'd have new budget and everything. So thankfully it did last long enough to where we rolled over to the new budget in 26. But boilers, hot water, domestic hot water boilers over in the middle school had leaks, and so we needed to replace and fix a good amount of stuff over there. So if you have any questions on like more specifics on that, Nick is happy to answer any of that, he said. So because it is a large amount, and several were fixed. So feel free to reach out to us so we can get with Nick and with questions. So
Did they check the high school boilers then?
those on high school wise, we've already taken care of those. Yep, years ago, and so this was all middle school stuff.
Is there more to be done? Was this kind of like a patch just to get through?
No, this is
Okay.
this is fixed. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it then for the financials. Any questions?
Okay. I get a motion to approve payroll and vendor claims in the amount of $1,779,758.60.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Wellness plan.
I am going to ask Sheila to table this, because I got a message from her that there's a lot of cleanup that can be done with it. I did not have time to get that from the point I got your email.
Yes.
And there's nothing time sensitive at this point. It does what Nancy needed to do for the food service auditing, but this will give me time to go through and get it.
I can explain just.
Yeah.
I read through it from the website and read through it several times, but the majority of it hangs real well together. But the third section, the third goal, it appears to either be written by a different person or quickly, and it's not, there are not complete sentences. There's a sentence in there that I can't figure out exactly what it means. And so I highlighted that stuff and sent it to Kelly over the weekend, and I know it was a bad weekend to send it, but that's when I finally thought, and then I decided I just needed to let you know about it. So I would like to table it, to get it cleaned up, so when it goes on our website, it's in the best possible shape it can be.
Is this an initial one, or this is a
No.
work of what we had before?
Honestly, I did not dig much into this because I just needed to get it in front of you. So I pulled what we already had and didn't do a whole lot with it, other than just to help Nancy, Hubbard and Fort meet some deadlines they were under. So now I can slow down and we can take some time with it and
Okay.
get it more forward facing.
So you're gonna motion to table this till Kelly can.
I'll make a
clean
motion
it
to
up.
table the,
Wellness plan.
until it's brought up again.
Yes.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Overnight field trips.
Yeah, these are both from Joe Clifford with robotics and drones. And because they're overnight, they just need approval for that.
One is to Indy and one is to Terre Haute.
Yep.
Yeah, the one is Lucas Oil Stadium for the robotics state tournament, and then the other is at Rose Holman in Terre Haute for the.
How many teams or kids or whatever do we have in the state tournament?
Right now, he has, I'm certain of one team in the robotics state tournament, but he still has time to get others qualified.
About
Yeah.
how large is a team?
I
5 or 6
think-
kids?
Yeah, it's
10
four,
kids?
3 or 4.
It's 3 and then they can have an alternate.
An
Yeah.
alternate?
4 total.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
that's fine.
4 kids. But he, yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about the event that he had just this weekend, so.
Any questions about the trip? Can I get a motion for the approval of the overnight field trips for robotics and drone?
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Cancel outdated checks.
Yeah, so this is something we do at the beginning of each year. It is just to clean up the financials across the board, actually, not just at the corporation level, but at the high school and elementary. You just get those checks that you send out and they get lost, or it's to a referee or an individual, and they lose them. That it happens, and so they sit out there, and per state code, we're allowed to cancel those checks after 2 years. And so between all 3 buildings, this year the amount is $2,658.83. Just asking for your approval to cancel those outdated checks.
Is there any liability for someone coming back and asking for it? Like if they find it later, is it?
I don't think
does it
banks
get-
even honor them after 2 years.
Yeah,
Right.
no, and you'll see, I don't have one in front of me, but on our
Void
checks,
after.
it says on the check, void after X amount of days.
Okay.
And then in that Indiana code right there, that 511,
Okay,
10.52 allows this.
so then the money just gets released, or well, it's not gone, so it's just, okay,
Yeah, it just basically gets put back into the financials.
understood.
Okay, I got approval for, to cancel the outdated checks.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Monetary donations.
Yeah, we just had one, actually came in last week, and so, Good Oil, they continue that Roundup program, again, super thankful for that. And, athletic department, it
Just
wasn't,
as a general.
well, it wasn't, so this time it wasn't specified on the check, so, we'll have to reach out to them to see what this one actually was for. But again, they donated from Roundup $680.88, so just asking for your acceptance of that.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the monetary donations from Good Oil Company?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Masonry alternative building.
Yeah, so we are at the point, really I'm gonna talk more towards you guys, cause you've been the least in the know of where we're at with this. Those 3 to varying degrees as the committee, have had direct engagement with our architect, Don. But basically we got 2 bids in on that project that we've been chasing outside our building here, and the bids are high. And so the two of us together are in agreement at those amount of dollars, we don't feel comfortable pushing for it. So what I have listed is I have an alternative idea that I'd like permission to explore further, with the caveat that we don't have to be in a huge rush, but to explore and try to find kind of a domino approach with a space, building a space that lines up more with the dollars that this group can all be comfortable spending. And so that idea is a way, if we can get our weight room facilities outside of the 2 classrooms they're in, I can use that to kind of achieve, in a roundabout way, what I was trying to achieve with this masonry alternative building. We have flexibility with that alternative classroom currently. If I wanted to utilize that space to get 3 spaces now lined up next to each other in the ag hallway, if we could build a weight room facility that can match the dollars we want to spend, I can utilize that new reclaimed space to achieve the moving around of things, robotics and PLTW, getting some of that programming down in proximity to the welding lab, to the construction labs, to the current masonry lab where we're at. And still feel good about achieving the program growth that we're hoping to. So that's really where we're at, is if you guys are okay with me kind of exploring this other possibility and then come back with information on that. We still have Don Duncan, and the work he's done so far is all usable. So you know that money has been still well spent for what we're trying to move towards. So questions on that? And I may not have the best answers, but they can fill in
We
around.
had some other ideas other than just a building for a weight room.
Well, so a few iterations. We can think of just a weight room building, just the size that captures and gets the weights outside of those classrooms. Or we can think bigger than that and more of a student activity center, a bigger space that grabs those weights, gets them out of the building and out of classroom space, but also gives us, in some regards, a blank canvas to create more things we want going forward. My rationale that I have the architect working on right now is if more of a pole barn type building, cheap space, high ceilings, wide open space, if its proximity is good enough to the existing building, does it have to have restrooms? Is one question, which obviously keeps the cost down. Or can we utilize what, depending on where we would want to orient that building, can we utilize the existing restrooms? So he's got a few things he's working on there for us to bring us more answers.
So if it is not a classroom, but still is utilized by students.
Right. That's question number
Is a pole
one.
barn type thing gonna work?
Question number one, Don is gonna answer is, will this idea get educational occupancy? That's the exact question you're asking.
Okay.
Yeah. And
The only question that I had with it all was looking larger picture, if we go to a student activity center,
Mhm.
is a harebrained idea, right? We're gonna build this building. Is there an opportunity to open it to the public
Mm-hmm.
in the form of a membership? If you think back, I think there was a gym in town, but I don't think there is a gym in town anymore.
Ish.
Maybe
Right.
ish.
Yeah,
Is there an opportunity, and I don't know if the school, if we could do this, but if you could open up to a membership type scenario where you could offer it to the public. I was looking at it as a revenue stream, potentially. You know,
You would have to have a personnel, one person at least, don't you think? to-
and that's, I don't know, it's just as we're thinking about this, if we change gears and go down this avenue, is it an option? I mean,
Yeah.
because if we're gonna build this great big building, you know, for a field house, if you will, if that's what you
yeah,
wanna call it.
or a multi-purpose building, or
Building,
student
right.
activity center,
Is
whatever
there,
the case
is there an opportunity, and what I'm thinking back to also is more of the people that want to rent our gym, our other 3 gyms, as a way to get them maybe out of our gym, because I tell you right now, been down on the middle school gym floor, and there's spots that are already showing some wear, not bad,
Right,
but as a way to maybe not
Overload that.
Make it-
overload
yeah,
the
right.
other 3 things that we've dumped a lot of money in, look amazing,
Then it won't
It's a
be
good
restrooms.
down the road.
That's-
Down the road, but see, and that's to Kelly's point, building this in a vision of down the road. I'm not saying we build it, you turn it out open to the public, but as a phased approach, if you will, hey, we could add bathrooms down the road to accommodate that space.
Oh, I understand that, but adding bathrooms requires some kind of plumbing before you put things in
So,
the ground,
that's what-
you know?
Agreed,
Yeah, camera
and that's, so I did have a conversation with Don, is we do think about this, hey, maybe we just put sleeves in where we
Mhm.
think we would want to go with things, so then that way we're not coming back down the road, pulling concrete up to run water lines or sewer lines or whatever.
right.
We just put the stubs in,
Okay,
minimal cost, you're not trying to run them out here or anywhere, you just
they're ready to go.
ready to go down the road if you ever wanted to use them.
Okay.
Question
It's an
about,
option.
question about the old building before pivoting. Conversations after the plans were presented or out for bid and all the prices came back in. Was there any possibility of adjusting the plans to be more cost effective?
Not nowhere near close what we
Yeah,
needed.
that's a great question.
It was all basically like standard state guidelines or county guidelines of what was
I
used to
assume we
need to
can
be in
say,
there.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys saw the bids, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the.
One was 960,000 and the other one was 1,700,000.
Stop.
And the
This is
900,000,
a pole barn.
yeah.
the 900,000 excluded site work and probably excluded another
A lot of internal,
300,000 that,
a lot of the internal stuff.
It excluded the internal stuff for 900,000.
So there was no way to cut $400,000 out of
Yeah,
it,
no.
Wow, okay.
Right,
other than just, I don't know, cut the building in half, I guess.
Wow.
yeah, which I don't think would have gained us really anything going with a smaller building.
yeah.
So that was the reasoning for saying we just can't move forward with
Sure.
this.
So
I
now,
understand, and I agree, but
so,
I don't have any problem with you exploring another area if in fact we wanna build something, I
Right.
mean.
It's kind of, yeah, a different way to get from A to C.
so then in general, this would be a smaller building, still pole barn style, smaller,
Well,
less things
ma-
inside, or
Maybe so, maybe not. That's where we
we
the
don't know?
conversations we need to keep exploring, because we gotta get to a point where we know exactly what we want for that building now, and how much do we want to have for potential in the future. So that will speak to the size and scope of a building like that. What might we wanna do with it, or are we not thinking about that? Cause if we decide we wanna think just in the here and now, right now, that probably produces one pathway for us.
Sure.
If we wanna combine that with here and now plus what, X, Y, Z, that's gonna change what we wanna do.
And
These are the conversations you wanna have with your AD and your,
Yeah, I wanna bring in
Coaches.
the school group and so that we make sure we don't miss any ideas as we feed to Don, the architect, create this idea. Give us this pathway of an idea and maybe this choice, and then let's kick that around.
The other thing too, Kelly and Don and I had talked about too, was also having a couple field trips for all of us.
Yes.
To maybe go and actually see, so if we go down this field house option, maybe we go visit a couple of them to kind of wrap our head around,
Yeah.
along with his staff.
I think it'd be great for you guys to see what some other campuses, high school campuses have. And there are school systems smaller than us that have managed to get a full-blown field house or student activity center. Because, when you hear field house, your mind automatically thinks of only sports usage.
Right.
If it's big open space, that's a space where Joe Clifford will figure out some awesome things to do, and I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
But so will band practice, so will all kinds of things. If you got a blank canvas like that.
A few years ago, myself, Sharkozy, and Nick took a trip to Rossville and then Carroll. It was right down the road, which both had field houses. A little different than what we're talking about here because both of theirs are connected to their building. But like Kelly mentioned a minute ago, schools smaller than us or similar size, have Carroll's is massive. Theirs is very, very big, but they also built theirs about 10, 12 years ago. But just something to think about.
The only thought I have, and I'm not going to say it, because I know she's process, is should we not be looking at our needs first? I.e., remember this whole project started with the alternative classroom. And we had to get an alternative classroom for these kids to keep away, whatever the case is. Then we evolved into expanding the tech program, which I 100% agree with. And I'm just saying, I'm thinking, well, should we say, all right, here's what we need. We need an alternative classroom, we need a weight room, we need robotics, whatever this need is, and then to find a structure to go around it. Versus saying, well, we got this nice building, we could do band in there, we could do this in there, we could do that in there. I guess, I'm not sure what comes first.
I don't disagree with that,
Yes.
although I will flip it on its head. This endeavor actually started with the masonry, and then the alternative came in later.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure, I know we talked about the old bus barn originally,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure which one.
and that was, out of the gate,
Okay.
that was solely masonry, so really the alternative came in later. But to your point, that's an excellent point.
Because, I mean, I still go back to utilization of what we got. Because there's a lot of stuff we can do in there, alternative
Right.
classroom, prime example, perfect in that building.
Right.
So that might not be.
We can be flexible with
So
that,
that's, I guess, and I'm not sure how you develop the scope on this.
right,
Saying, here's our needs, let's find a facility that's gonna enclose it.
Yeah.
Or let's build an enclosure, we'll fill it.
well, I will say, to some degree, you'll end up in the same place either path you take, because
Well,
we can determine our needs are massive,
uh,
or we can determine our needs are,
and that's,
so they
goes
both
back
kind of
right
end
down.
up at the same
We're
point.
filling up every room in that building right now,
Uh-huh.
because we have it. I'm not sure we're utilizing it most effectively, but we fill it up. So I'm not sure that's the way I would approach it, is what I'm saying.
Right,
Because, yeah, we can build a nice building, and I'm sure we'll fill it up,
yeah,
but is that the proper way for us to look at it?
right.
almost has to be kind of both, doesn't it?
Well,
You take your needs and build it for that, but if you wanna be forward thinking
Right,
and
again, I
not
agree there.
pigeonhole
but I wanna
yourself.
see, all right, what are we building for? What are we trying to accomplish? What's our objective? That's the question. Is it alternative classroom? Is it just weight room?
Right.
Is it the
I'm
robotics,
okay with
go-kart?
that.
Whatever it is, what's our intent originally to put in there, and then again, what's phase 2 down the road that, hey, we're gonna grow more tech area, we're gonna grow more ag area,
Right.
or science, or weights or athletics or basketball, or we're gonna have a lacrosse team or whatever, I'm not sure.
Yep, that's why we need to be real purposeful with conversations, and I need to bring,
And then we say, all right, how do we build the structure around it?
I need to bring the right guys out of the buildings to add to this conversation.
So does anybody have a problem with Kelly moving forward with investigating some options and talking to those people?
Oh, that's what I,
It's fine.
Very good. All right.
do you like lacrosse?
No, I was just gonna say, I hope we're not expanding our science labs any more than what we were just doing.
Yeah, we're adding we just increased our science area by 33%, right? We had 4 rooms, we weren't using one of them, we're gonna renovate it. We just increased the area by 33%.
Well, sort of.
Superintendent's report.
All I have is we have spring break coming up, 23rd through the 27th. And then I'm sure both, I'll let Cameron and Sonny help me talk about the Mr. Clifford's robotics tournament from Saturday. Round 2, we've hosted 2 now. And the second one went even better than the first one. They trended about 30-40 minutes ahead. This is a long day. It is a long day for those kids.
Yeah.
What did Joe tell us? How many matches? Over 200?
200 and
Something,
there was
230 or
200,
something like that,
241 qualifying
Yeah.
matches
Matches.
before it got down to the
Yeah.
final 10
the
teams.
finals, yeah.
We had, I only know this because my kids on the
Yeah.
Okay,
elementary kids on the team. They had 4 teams that made it in the top 10. One was second and lost by, I think it was only like 15 points.
I think so.
It's interesting. It is
It's very
interesting. Let me tell you, it is long and it's a very boring day to say that. But it's pretty intriguing to see. I mean, these kids literally, they were handed. I mean, my guy's a 3rd grader, 5th through 3rd is on his team, and literally we're handed a bunch of parts, and we're told build this contraption. You just build it. No guideline, nobody really helping them actually build it, and all these teams have built these pretty cool robots to do all these different activities. So it is pretty cool.
yes.
But as a parent, it is long and it's very boring.
Are there gonna be any more here this year? Because once again, I was mad that I missed the second one now, but I was in the middle of something. Is that it for the year?
It's it for
I
the
think
year.
that's all he's hosting here.
So the only thing, next Tuesday, I think, is the last league thing down at
Yeah,
Caston.
Caston, yeah.
But that's it. Then those teams go to state. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
it is,
cool.
and it does, the action, like if you're there watching, if you've got a kid or a grandkid in this, and you're watching, the activity happens in minute 30 bursts of action,
Yeah,
and there's a
it's-
lot of weight,
Yeah.
but there's constantly matches going across 3 game boards, and they're doing a good job with it, and it's really been received well.
I observed, I said, the students are really interested in it. I mean, they were 100% involved in this thing. And I think Joe's staff or whoever's put this together did a super job.
Yes.
I mean, it ran very well attended.
Yep.
I mean, there's more people in that there than our basketball games.
Yeah.
Much more
There was,
over there.
Yeah.
Free to attend. We
Yep.
talked about that. So,
And they
it's
do
a
food
neat
trucks
program.
again or anything?
They didn't do food trucks, Mike, they set
Concession
up
stand.
all through our concessions.
Okay.
So Mike helps the robotics people, and that money comes into the robotics program. And then, the athletic department is just made whole for the expenses,
And
and
they
the
brought
robotics gets the
in, they brought
profit.
in breakfast sandwiches, because it starts early.
Yeah,
So it was a whole day thing. I mean,
Yeah.
they brought,
So I can tell you this, I dropped my kid off at 7:15 in the morning and stopped by the bakery to get my wife something, and I'm pretty sure the bakery almost was sold out of donuts at Judson.
yeah,
KV came in, bought, I think the guy wanted 6 dozen. One of the South Bend teams, they bought
yeah.
5 dozen. I mean, it was
oh, yeah.
it was
Moving.
crazy. I mean, just a
Right
little
now.
bit of, yeah, I mean, And
Yeah,
these
it's
people are
nice.
here all day, so I mean, the town subway benefited,
That's right.
employees benefited, I mean, everybody benefited.
For sure.
So, it was.
I did add one more thing, just to direct your attention. You know, in the last couple of years, when the state was coming in with, this free lunch program. Interesting, if you look at your ISBA email, there's some schools that are backing out of it. So take a look at that. I forwarded that message to Dalton today. I kind of feel validated that we were right to pump the brakes on that.
Yeah.
Because a couple entered into that and they're coming up short on some food costs. So, and we didn't hear much of anything, so.
Is Knox though, are they still?
Right now, yeah,
That's the next
Yeah.
LD or something.
but I haven't, I'm gonna do some asking and see how that's working out on the back end. But I thought that was interesting, you might look that up in,
Then that has nothing to do with the summertime program.
no, two different
Just
things.
during the year.
Yep,
And we do this summer every year.
yeah, we do the summer feeding
The summer,
program
yeah.
every year. Yep, and that's a program that we just basically are the conduit for it, a community feeding program.
Yeah, I think that's what all the
It's a federal
signs.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So they bring the stuff and you just.
They
hang
just,
it up or whatever.
they subsidize it, so Nancy Fort still does the ordering and puts that all together.
And then they just.
And the community can
reimburse us.
come in and, yeah, it's a
They
reimbursement.
they submit, you know, how many people came in, how many meals they gave out, and then we get reimbursed for that amount.
And that is all of my updates.
Any old business, anybody? Anything else? Anything not on the agenda? Anybody need anything taken care of? There are no visitors. So I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
6:40?
I don't know. 6:20.
Very good, very good.
Now, yeah.